on believing, nobody else gotta see it. Keep on reaching, the stars are aligning, feel it. I said keep on believing, nobody else gotta see it. Keep on reaching, the stars are aligning, feel it. I got ice in my veins and my teeth are froze. Happen cause the passion that we making goes. Only time I feel alive is when I'm chasing goals. And when I'm reaching goals, that's why I be alone. The time I level up is when I be alone. Only way to really find out what you're capable. Let's put it all on the line when you're chasing goals. There's a magic that'll happen when you're facing up. There's a magic that'll happen when you're waking up. And when you're weak and numb, but you keep breaking them. I'm talking curses that are around you generational. I'm talking chains around your neck to really weigh you down. Like I used to give a fuck of what they think about. I was swimming on the surface, but I'm deeper now. Lost you out a long time, face the reaper now. Forget what everybody says, you gon' be the one.
This borderline fly like a skateboarder high. Comprised provocative prototype, immortalized to the mind. Delude your mind and soon to find the food yourself. You could rule the world.
That was pretty much a minute, right?
That's perfect, minute. I think so. Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome, Alicia. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. You know what?
We've had some technical difficulties.
Difficulties, technical for sure. So, but you know what? We're here right now, and that's what matters. So, I'm Zach Martin, director and founder of Kids Deserve Dads. This is my counterpart and co-host, Alicia Bullock. She is a baddie from Wyoming. Don't mess around. So,
Thanks. That's
a
nice.
Knoxville mom
I like that
who's
introduction.
done amazing things to be with her kids and to support them having their dad. And I wouldn't pick a better person to be a co-host than Alicia. It doesn't get no better. So thank you.
You're too nice.
Almost speak the truth. And
So flattered
but
all
today
the
on the
time.
show, we got a really great guy on here. You won't be able to see his face because he is the man of mystery.
The man
Jeff
of
Zender.
mystery. Jeff
Yeah.
Zender.
You know, I met Jeff probably 4 years ago in Wyoming, and he called me up wanting some support around getting to see his kids and stuff. And we had a mutual friend and a mutual acquaintance through law school. One of his best friends actually got, crazy story, totally inappropriate, not appropriate to our show, but whatever. One of his best friends, who is part of his Back to Basics camps, one of the main buildings, got mauled by a bear and killed in Wyoming a half dozen years ago. And so he made one of the main buildings of his Back to Basics camp after his friend. And then one of the girls in law school with me, that was her sister, that was her brother. So like, it's
Small
Wyoming,
world.
baby. So that's how it goes in
Small
Wyoming. We
state.
know everybody. Yes, we are all a close knit family. So, anyways, so just a crazy situation, a coincidence that we were that connected and stuff, and so it helped me build a better relationship with the friend and the law student that I went to school with, and we got to talk about that. And Jeff and I have connected, and we've spent some time. And Elijah and I have been to his camp, and we've done Back to Basics camp with him, and it's an amazing thing. And he's an amazing man, and he loves kids, and he really is focused on helping kids and parents connect over being one with nature, being out there. So I'm gonna let him, because he'll describe it so much better than I will. But that basically the camp, you can't have your cell phone. You don't get to play on your cell phone and stuff. It goes into a booth, and you don't get to touch it. And you go on there, and it's about making campfires, picking your own vegetables, washing your own vegetables, prepping your own food. We went and did hiking. We went to hot springs. We did some boating down the Snake River. And that's just a couple of the few things that we chose to do while we were out there. And there are a million of cool opportunities to do this. And he's trying to grow this program and make this something that's even bigger. He bought a place in Tennessee, and he wants to really help support families more and more get this place of connection, and not in a spot where you're playing video games and having these electronics, but that really about sitting around campfires, sitting around with the people that are most important to you, the family that you have, and being connected. So Jeff's better at this than I am about explaining it, but he's on the program now. Jeff,
are we going to bring him on?
Bring him on, Jeff. Unmute yourself. Yeah! Love this guy, man. Love this guy. The question is now, can Jeff find the unmute button? Woo! Come on, I hope so. It's got the microphone on it.
Can you
There
hear me
we go.
now?
Yes. Welcome, Jeff.
Welcome, Jeff.
Man, high tech.
Dude, you are high tech,
How are
bro.
you guys doing?
We are
You know,
good. We are happy you're
they
here.
need to make these phones back to basics.
I mean, we tried as hard as we could to bring it back to basics. I was like, touch the thing that looks like a camera, and it wasn't working. So, you know what, though? We didn't bring you on the program for your technical abilities. So I think it's the other things about you
True.
that means so much. So, how about I gave a really horrible rendition about what Back to Basics Camp is. Kind of give us an idea of what this camp is and what it means to you.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm having a little technological difficulty, but part of what we try to do is build relationship between father and child, and we feel that kids could learn some skills, and by working with their fathers, it also helps create a relationship, doing adventures and skill building. And we're really excited. We have a program coming up end of July and August this year. It's filling up fast. We've mostly just done day trips over the last 10 years or so, but we are doing a pilot program this year with 5 fathers and 5 sons, and it's 2 days of adventure and 3 days of skill building. We start out by walking in 4 miles to our camp, and we do all Dutch oven cooking.
And where's the location for anybody that doesn't know?
We're located just outside of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We're about 50 miles south, in right on the Green River, looking into the Wind River Range.
Yeah. Winds on one side, Wyoming Range on the other, right?
Beautiful area.
Yes, sir. It's this very beautiful place. Rolling sagebrush and the biggest mountains in Wyoming.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, just absolutely exquisite mountains. And if you haven't seen them, you can't explain them to anybody because they are just spectacular. So, well, Elijah and I went out there and did your camp 3 years ago now, I think. And I mean, he talks about to this day, I mean, you're one of his favorite people in the whole entire world, Uncle Jeff, and he talks about, his chicken paintbrush, and I think it really meant a lot to Elijah to be out there. What are the things that you think really stand out about what you're trying to accomplish with this Veterans Camp?
Well, I think in this modern world we live in, I think a lot of kids are disconnected from nature. They don't see the sun come up, the moon come up, the stars at night. A lot of them really don't know where our food comes from. And we just try to give people a taste of that.
Yeah. What's the benefit you think that kids get from having that connection?
Well, I think kids start out wanting to model their parents, and when they're watching their parents do something, they want to mimic it, and they want to be good at it. I think it's important for parents to lay the path out for their children and try to understand which direction they want to go and lead them in that direction.
Yeah.
You think most of the folks that come out to camp with you guys, it's not, I guess, a routine thing? It's something new for them? Or are they kind of seasoned campers that do it quite often and, I mean, come out for the camaraderie and the skills lessons and things like that?
Well, I think when we take the cell phones away for a period of time, I think it just kind of opens their eyes to being in the present. There's a lot of stuff on the phones these days, a lot of distractions, and when parents are trying to teach their children.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
Yeah, so because parents are distracted by the phones and stuff, then that's what kids are seeing their parents do, right?
Yeah.
Play on phones and ignore them.
You know, they're an incredible tool. They do amazing things. But I think statistics show that as connected as we are these days with digital devices, we're a little short on relational skills, on talking face to face and reading body language and just being present in the moment in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, and I definitely agree with that. And go ahead, Zach. What were you gonna say?
No, you go. You go.
I guess I was just gonna say, I grew up camping and exploring the wilderness with my parents, and memory wise and the things I saw and the things we got to do, I mean, core memories, being able to do that. And it was always in the summer. I mean, there was even times that we went up to the mountains to, chop firewood and things like that to bring back down. But it is so important. And I do my best yearly to get out at least, 2 or 3 times. It might just be a lake, but into the mountains to do that. And I guess I'm a little bit surprised that there's not really that many people, parents that do that very often these days. I mean, I could be wrong, but what do you think, Zach?
I agree with you. I think there's a lot of parents that don't do that stuff, and I think it has to do with their upbringing, right? If you're coming from a spot where you didn't grow up playing in the woods, how comfortable are you out there, hiking in the middle of the mountains where there could potentially be bears and mountain lions and, where dangerous things happen? And if you don't have any of that experiences, how do you give and teach that to your kids when you never experienced it or know how to do it? I think that is something that has been hard, and we have this whole society now around being electronics and being safe and not going outside, and now we're even making it even more prominent that people aren't having those experiences. And I think, especially back in the day, men do those things, and now we're seeing women go by themselves and do hiking, and several hiking groups with women. But that it was traditionally outdoor stuff was guys' space where guys went and did things. And if you don't have a dad in the house, the mom taking a family out to the woods by herself with a tent, trying to navigate that whole outdoor experience, or not. And Alicia, I don't know that you're an exception, but I think you are, that you probably would do something like that, right?
Well, yeah, but I thank my parents. I mean, I grew up doing those kinds of things. So,
Right.
I mean, it's important. And that's why I think the Back to Basics camp, it's such an awesome resource for anybody to just be able to have that experience and have that guidance and be around others. And the taking the phone thing away, not, taking the phone away, but, put your phone away. That's so incredibly important too. And I've found myself, even as an adult, being in camping, in the wilderness, whatever. And, you still kind of reach for that device. I like to go places you go places you don't even have service. Your phone's not even going to work anyway, so it's good to have it as a camera to capture memories and things like that. But I've been trying to do better, especially in those situations, whatever kind of experience it is that you don't even, it might be something you want pictures of, right? But if you just leave that put away or you don't have access to it, you experience it in a completely different way because you're not even trying to get the pictures. Do you know what I mean? So I think
Right.
that I think that's really neat. Just taking away all the electronic devices.
I'm a picture machine, but Jeff, I think Alicia made a good comment that it's not about like taking them away and stuff, but how do you handle cell phones and technology at the Back to Basics camp?
Well, you know, I'd just like to say a little bit about how I grew up. I grew
Yeah.
up in the 60s and 70s, and we didn't have cell phones at that time. And I grew up the oldest of 9 children, and my dad took us out fishing and water skiing and snow skiing, and we went on long excursions across the country. And growing up, there was a lot of families around and a lot of kids, and just a lot of free time to play and run around outside. And as we've progressed with technology, it seems like kids are playing outside less and less. And some of the people that we've tried to encourage to come to camp, what we found is that a lot of kids, they may be close with their parents, but they really don't have other fathers and kids of the same age that hang out on a regular basis. And I think it's really important that we have community, because we learn amongst community. We believe our parents are our primary educators, but when it's enforced by other people in the communities, I think it sends a good message to the children. And it just seems like some of that's lacking in our culture. So
I completely agree.
Our hope is to build community and strong bonds for all people in all communities.
Right. I think you guys are focused on dads and their kids and stuff, but that you have intention to do it out even in the future, where you have camps with moms and stuff come out there with their kids and stuff too, right? I mean, it's not only about dads; it's about getting connection and building relationships and a tighter bond with your family, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow, see, I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So he's working on building it. The ones we're going to do this year and stuff. The ones he's doing this year are really dad centric and stuff. But that there's
Right.
a plan to build this out. So it's also having women out there, guiding women in these outdoor excursions and these camps, and helping them connect over the same kind of experiences, having a campfire, making their food from scratch, and having that be a place where you're spending an hour making food together, building a fire as a community. And you probably aren't with people that but that you're building that bond. You're working on connection skills, communication, and being present with somebody, which is something that is so lost today. And uh, you grow your own vegetables, right, Jeff? And you guys have your own eggs. Like, you guys pick your own. You guys, harvest eggs every day, and
We, we try to live off the earth as much as we can. That's for sure.
yeah,
And
definitely.
that's all accessible to you at the camp?
We do have 3 garden plots and a greenhouse there. We have a chicken
Oh,
coop.
wow. Nice.
So
So it's like a homestead almost.
all the cabins have been built out of reclaimed lumber, and it is kind of a homestead. We have a wood shop and a leather shop there.
Wow.
We have an earth lodge that we had about 30 people volunteer, and that's really our main place of cooking and communicating. We one of the things we like to do is kind of do a timeline where where the father will tell the story of his family, of his growing up years, and sharing that with their children, and also telling the story of their child and building them up, blessing them. And at the end of the retreat, we do a ceremony, and we just try to put children to the next stage in their development.
Do you have many families or parents and kids that return at like every year, or do you find they come
Well-
out for the one trip and then maybe they're off on their
Well,
own
for the
after
last 5
doing
or
the same
6
thing?
years, we've I belong to a thing called men's fraternity, and it's a men's group that meets once a week. And at the end of the year, we do a dad and son celebration, and where we it's just a day trip, but we walk them in 4 miles, and we do the Dutch oven cooking and some share time around the fire, and we basically just break bread together, and we do a couple skills, and just really the time walking in slows everyone down enough to just kind of start building a relationship.
Right. When you say like the skills, are you talking just like fire starting or foraging or?
We do a fire starting with flint and steel.
Nice.
We show them how to start a fire with that. How to cook over the fire, the importance of keeping an eye on things so they don't burn, and
Right.
when it's a community cooking, everyone has their part in it, and everyone's part is important in the preparation of the meal. And I think it just makes everyone feel a little important, that they're participating and sharing and caring about each other.
Right. What's the
That's so important.
I guess. Sorry, I had one more question.
Go for it. Go for
Like
it.
the biggest group, what's the biggest group you guys have ever had as far as folks there?
Well, we actually try to stay in smaller groups. We've had up to 25 on a day trip.
Oh, wow. Nice.
But our 5-day adventure is geared towards 5 fathers and 5 sons,
Okay.
or 5 daughters, so that we have one cabin for each set of parent and child. And if they have 2 sons or 2 daughters, they're allowed to bring them as well. But we try to make it a special time for the father and child, and we have group time as well as alone time, where they can have time to communicate up just by themselves in the cabin, and just feel it's important to spend time together.
Right. All right. I totally agree. Especially in the situations that they can't do that, or they just haven't ever had the opportunity to before.
Well,
Totally.
statistics show there's 23 million children in the United States growing up without a father in the home.
That's right.
And our divorce rates have skyrocketed, and we just along with kids deserve dads, we just feel that moms and dads are both very important to the development of our children. We're just trying to help bridge that gap.
Right. Having that time with a father is so important.
It's just great bonding time, right? Like being out there, especially as a dad, you get, if you're a non-custodial parent, you get significantly less time with your kids than a custodial parent does. And out there in the woods, having this time to be connected with your kids and being really focused uh, on just them and just having an in the moment experience without your cell phone, without photos of your own, but just being there, it's the kids get all that attention, right? And that attention is what they're craving. Isn't it right, Jeff? And you've seen like huge results from having people out there with these groups, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, Elijah and I, when we went and stuff, I mean, it was a magical time, and we did a carriage ride. We did some wood crafting. We built we did a painting in your wood shop and cut up some wood, and it was a magical experience being out there with him and with you. I mean, um, things that we've never done since, and I don't know we ever would have done if we didn't go out there and take part in your camp and spend time with you. And I wouldn't change that for the world, and I can't wait to actually have that opportunity to give that to more families and do that with more families and stuff in the near future. Our intention at Kids or Dads, we're going to be doing a camp with you in August, right? The first weekend of August.
Yep. You guys are signed in.
Yep. So we're putting together a whole entire camp right now with 5 dads, 4 dads. You know what? I'll bring my own tent. We're gonna do 5 dads. So 5 dads and their kids, and Elijah and I and Jeff in August. And so we're looking to have people join up and stuff. And I think one of the beautiful things about this camp, you could charge thousands of dollars a month for this thing and stuff. And I think the kind of person that Jeff is really testament to he's more focused on how does he bring families together and make this be a successful thing and stuff. And so he's got to charge some money because you got to buy food and things along those lines. But it's going to be a smoking good deal because the point is he's going to be growing his camp and getting it bigger and providing us for more families. But that his real purpose is to go out there and support these families getting to have these opportunities and stuff. So I don't know if you have a number yet that you're going to charge, but I know you're talking about like making like the cost of food basically.
Well, you talk about purpose. I think one thing we want to make aware is that we all have purpose, and one of the things we're trying to develop in our camp is for the father and son to create a family crest. And what the family crest does is kind of defines what the mission of the family is. And we just feel it's important to pass those things on for generations. And we want to see our kids living with purpose.
Right.
Oh, hold on.
I completely agree with you. I mean, God, what a beautiful thing to get out there and get that purpose going and stuff, and having that spot where um, uh, these families can go out there and connect, right? And living that purpose, you're here to give these things for these families because as a dad, I want to impart these skills on my son. I take him camping, we play in the woods. He has his own pocket knife. He's got his own BB gun. He's got his own bow and arrow, bow, and we shoot arrows. We do all these things together because I want my son to be able to have these skills. A lot of skills that I never even really had, that I've developed on my own sense in, and even some things that I don't do. I've never been hunting. My family didn't hunt. My parents don't have any guns. I'm the only person in my family to have guns and that kind of stuff. And um, but I don't want my son growing up without those skills, and I'm learning them myself right now because it's important to me to be able to have those skills so I can pass them on to him and support him in having those skills because he may need them at some point in time in the future. And I can shoot a gun. I have guns. I shoot them, but I don't have them. I don't have the skills to go out there and do these things. And I'm building a group of guys that are around me to help me out support that. And this is one of those spaces where you come out here, you don't have those skills and stuff. You don't have to have all those skills because Jeff has all those skills, right?
Well,
And we're there to
I,
all
I
learn
wouldn't
together, right?
necessarily say. I think we all have. I think we all have a set of skills, and I think when we don't know how to do something and we feel inadequate, we sometimes we feel afraid and scared to learn something new. But what we found out is when there's other folks there, we're able to share, and when we're sharing, we can all learn.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, so powerful to have the ability to have that where we all learn, having that chance to go out there. We all were in school, right? And they always say, oh, no question's a stupid question, blah, blah, blah. You get made fun of for asking dumb questions, right? If you don't know the answer, somebody else knows, oh, you don't know the answer, and people then get afraid to be asking these questions. And this is a place where it's a group of guys going out there and meeting together, working together on doing this stuff. And not everybody's going to know how to, pick the right plants from the garden, but somebody there does, not everybody knows how to go into a chicken coop and like find the right chicken eggs and clean them off properly, but someone there does. And guys have different skill sets and they work together to build these things. You do some wood crafting, right? And maybe you've never used a table saw or done any of these kind of saw work and stuff, but there's a group of guys there that are there and that we're all working together, and it gives a chance to have some humility with your kids and show them that even at whatever age you are as a dad, you're learning new things every day because there's so much more to gain from being out there, and you get to have that aha, first time experience with your kids doing something that you wouldn't normally get a chance to do, and it's a chance to really step into that that is so powerful. Um, and so that was one of the things that I got out of it the most. And I think from your experience, Jeff, you've seen so many guys gain from having the different guys around them to support them.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we all feel a little inadequate, and we can all use a little support.
Right.
Was there anything? What was the most valuable thing you think you learned, Zach, when you were there? Besides, I mean, the whole experience itself, but was there anything in particular?
We're on this hiking trail, and Elijah was 3.5, and he was just absolutely loving it, and running down the trail, and we're trying to stay up. Jeff's just walking, and we're running down this trail ahead of him and stuff, and he eats it and tears his knee up and stuff, and like he's laying there holding himself and like crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be the end of the trip, right? Like he's gonna want to go, and we need to like get back. He's got a bloody knee, and I'm like, this is gonna be a mess. And Jeff comes walking up, and like looks at him and stuff and hangs out, and kind of like dusts him off a little bit, and I was like, all right, let's keep going. And he just like basically said, hey, we have further to go on this trail, and Elijah just got up and followed him, as opposed to like
rub some dirt on it,
bending down, like, yeah, let's go, just hey, keep going, and he just kept going and went on this rest of this trip and stuff, and and I think one of the things that I got out of it was that there was so much that I got out of it. We just so many things, but I really thought that moment was one of the best moments that I had out there. With that, I was like, I was worried that was going to be the end, and that it was going to be such a traumatic thing, and that he wasn't going to be excited about the rest, and that it was going to be kind of it was the end of that fun on the hiking experience. And Jeff just kind of like said, hey, we're keeping going and stuff, and he just kind of got up and just followed along, and that I can lead through that kind of example with him. I don't have to like bend down and like baby him and stuff, because he's capable of dusting it off and keep going, and holding him to that ability that he had. It supported me in doing a lot more of holding those abilities. I feel like kids are way freaking smarter than we give him credit for, and that he always amazes me in his ability, his intuitiveness and ability to like handle big things and do them better than I thought that he could. And this is one of those moments where I was like, oh, it's, it's over with. And he just popped right back up and like followed Jeff's example, and we just kept going. And it was really powerful to be in that experience with him. So
It's good.
yeah,
I was gonna ask.
we got some.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sure.
So
Go, Zach.
we got Carson, who's been on here. And Carson's been living with you since January. And I've talked to Carson on the phone a couple of times, so I've gotten a chance to have uh, uh, the opportunity to speak with Carson. He's a great young man, 12 years old. But he's talking about some of the things that he's been working on and learning and stuff. And I'll read it to you, Jeff. I don't know if you can like read on your screen or not. But he says, I've been with Jeff since January, and I'm his cousin. Everything he says, he's been teaching us. I have many flaws, but I have learned so much. We will be heading to Wyoming to help wherever he needs help. And they are going to be out here. I think they're going to come and visit me in Rapid City, and I'm stoked about getting a chance to meet Carson and his dad, Pete. I think I'm going to get him on Jeff again on Thursday. So, and they're going out to Wyoming because Tennessee has been like nice and warm for the last 2 months. You keep talking about how the nice weather you've had, and now you can actually maybe dig something up in Wyoming now and plant some plants. So
Yeah, finally.
maybe.
Finally.
We've had such a great time down in Tennessee. Pete's my long lost cousin. We grew up together till he was about 10, and we haven't seen each other in 50 years. And we reconnected through a death in the family.
Wow.
And Pete and his son came out, and they bought into this camp that we're trying to put together in Tennessee. And we couldn't have found a better community of kind of retired guys that we built a blacksmith shop. Carson was involved in that. I've got a couple other kids in the neighborhood there. Her dads are in prison, and we've had them over to our camp there in Tennessee, and they've been helping move wood around, and we're remodeling the structure there. And it's been good for them. It's been good for me. We got
Getting
a
a lot
whole.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What
Oh,
were you going to say?
They're getting a lot of experience and guidance that they probably need.
Mm-hmm. It's what I've experienced is, when adults take the time to show the youngins how to do something, they try to tackle that task to the best of their ability, and sometimes the reinforcement of another dad or another elder just reinforces the importance of their purpose. And like Zach was saying, when one guy falls, we pick him up, and it's easier to keep moving on. And sometimes when you're by yourself and you fall, it's harder to get up.
Right.
And we're really just trying to build community.
Yeah. It's such a powerful thing to have a community. We talk about every week, is having this group of guys to come to and connect with and stuff. And being out there, I met a couple guys and stuff that were part of that. And I talk to those guys still today. And we were out there for just a few days together at your camp and stuff. And I've talked to them, 50 times in the last couple of years and stuff. And that's not every day, but I believe that if he called me on the phone today, I would answer the phone immediately. And I believe that if I called him on the phone, he would answer, and we'd talk at any given moment. And going through these experiences in family court, one of the things that guys need the most is that community, that support system, because you don't know who you can trust, and you don't know who's on your side and who's not. But guys that come to these camps and stuff, these are the kind of guys that you can trust. These are your friends. These are the people that are going through the experiences and trying to grow to be the best selves they can be, and want to teach these things to their kids so that kids can be better and more focused and connected. And who better do you want to spend time with than these guys that are out here doing the same stuff, and um, Jeff's helped me see so much about this, and I can't wait to go back out there and do it again. I wish I could be out there every freaking weekend. I'd go out there every weekend with my son and get to play with Jeff because uh, Jeff's a little bit older than I am. Um, Probably old enough to be my dad too, but not quite, not quite. But probably. And but just to have that experience, to have that knowledge of that age, and be able to pass that stuff on, to be able to have done things and seen things, and be able to coach me through those moments and stuff. And especially at a time in my life where I'm coachable, you know. And I think with having my son and dusting him off, I've dusted him off before. It didn't work the same as when Jeff did it, but also that's my son, right? And my son doesn't react the same. I think a lot of parents coach their kids, and when they're coaching their kids and stuff, the person who listens the least to you being the coach is your son or your daughter, because they're like, "Oh, you're my dad. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot." But the other kids are like,
Yeah, they
"Well,
behave
okay.
different, way different for anybody else but you. That's
Right.
true.
Oh, okay, Coach Zach. Yeah, that's great, right? And then having somebody like Jeff out there, he's Jeff, Uncle Jeff or whatever you want to call him. Elijah refers to him as Uncle Jeff, and he's Jeff, and he gets pumped up when he gets to talk to Jeff on the phone and gets to see Jeff, and it means a lot. And having somebody like that who's there to be that guidance to teach these things, and so even if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, you have somebody to lean on, or you're trying it, and then there's somebody there that they can turn back to. And you turned me onto a book, Jeff, and I really feel like what you're doing is taking what's in that book to another level. And are you open to sharing that book and how it inspired you to build this and grow this to help these families out?
Absolutely. First of all, I really came up with this vision. It was quite some time ago, but I was at a church camp up in the UP, and it was a men's work week for a family camp, and we were building a tower. I got the privilege of putting the roof on this tower. It was about 80 feet in the air, and the week we worked on it, there's no showers at this camp. There's bucket showers. There's no electricity. And the week that we were there was called Back to Basics. And that's kind of where the name came from. And this book that Zach's talking about, Raising a Modern Day Knight, it was written by a man named Robert Lewis. And it was about three guys. They had 7 or 8 sons between them, and the wives were asking them how they were going to raise their boys, and they basically were dumbfounded. They really had no idea what they were going to do, but they put their heads together and they came up with a theme of the knights, and how a young man is a page and he's learning how to become a knight. And they do different ceremonies for different times in their lives, when they reach adolescence, when they reach manhood, when they're getting ready to be married. And basically they started doing life together, and they found it very beneficial. And this book really has it all in there, of raising a child with purpose and with community and with a group of other men around them. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to create for folks, is to have a core group of people around them to share life with. And it starts at the camp, just by trying to put some of that technology aside and build relationship and the importances and purposes that we all have. And, you know, I can't say I know if we've made a difference in anyone's life, but I sure have created a lot of friendships over the last 15 or 20 years. And, just hope to see people getting along better in groups.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd say
I
no
mean,
doubt you absolutely impacted people's lives in a positive way. Just being able to have that opportunity. I would say you probably did. I wouldn't question that at all.
I mean, uh, you impacted my life, hands down, and everybody that I've ever met who's been at your camps and stuff, you've made a huge impact in their lives. So, I mean, there's moments on top of moments, and my son talks to today, and my son I was on there today, and he talks about paintbrush all the time. He's always asking about your chicken. I mean, he carried it around every day while we were at the camp. Like he basically got back to camp, went to the chicken
He
coop,
was
and grabbed
amazing, wasn't
grabbed paintbrush like he owned the freaking thing, and then he would just sit and walk around the camp as we were like cooking food or doing whatever, and
Just
stroking
carrying the
paintbrush and
chicken.
stuff, and carrying chicken, just stroking paintbrush. We're building the fire and getting all going, banging on some drums and hanging out, chopping some wood. And I mean, we had him up there. He got his own axe. He got his own axe. We were there for rendezvous days this last time, and he got his own axe, and he had on a coonskin hat and looked like a freaking Daniel Boone up in there. And I got a great picture with Jeff wearing his leather whole get up, like full leather outfit, like a mountain man, and Elijah with his coonskin hat on and stuff. And I mean, he learned how to chop wood up there, and 3.5 years old, chopping wood and fearless of going into a chicken coop by himself and grabbing out the chicken that he wanted and stuff. And that, what a powerful thing to just give a kid that experience. And what my son's gone through and what he's experienced because of your camp and stuff, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And I can't wait to get him back out there again. Like it's one of the greatest things that we have ever done together. And we've had a lot of experiences, and like you talk about that back to basics camp and building that connection and stuff. I want to have this over and over again because I want this to be something that him and I can keep building upon and keep growing with. And that's why it was so important to me with you being on today, is that I want to have this camp with a bunch of guys from Kids Their Dads and Tough and these groups that follow us, and have them come and join us out here in Wyoming. First of all, you get to come to Wyoming and you get to hang out with us, which is a prize in itself.
Where else would
But
anybody want to go?
I mean, God, I've been to a lot of other places. There's a few places I have not been, and there's nowhere better than Wyoming, hands down. And that spot
Amen.
in that valley is just one of the prettiest places, and it looks like the mountains are like right in front of you, and you can touch them, and then you gotta drive like 40 minutes to get to them because they're that big and that close, but it's that far, and but then you just until you've been there, you just can't explain the beauty and the wildness of this area, and then just having just such an amazing focused guy to guide you through the experience, and to it doesn't necessarily even guide you, but allow you and your kids to build that experience yourselves as you need it to be. I can't say enough amazing things about it, and about you. I just really cherish it. So we're looking to build this group up and stuff. I'm going to have it on the Facebook page here, probably the next week or so, of the opportunity to come join us on this hike, on this excursion. Like I said, I think it's 4 nights, 5 days, half days,
Yeah,
front and back.
yeah, they'll be walking in on Wednesday evening, and then we do a Thursday, Friday adventure with some skill building mixed in between. And one thing I remember about Elijah being out there is we went on a covered wagon ride, and those horses that pulled us. It was, you talk about how fearless he was with the chickens. Well, these 1,500-pound horses, he was also just helping groom them and put their shoes on, and he was just it was just amazing to watch how he interacted with those monstrous horses with no fear.
No fear. Yeah, I mean they were gigantic. I don't know. I don't know horses, but I mean they weren't Clydesdales, and they weren't like they weren't like paint horses, that you ride on and stuff. They were you could ride one, but man, you'd be walking around like you see in the westerns, like they show in the cartoons and stuff.
They
'Cause
were some
they
kind of
were
draft horse, right, for a wagon.
yeah
They're,
they were
they're,
they
they're
were big
Belgium.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Belgian.
they were big. I mean, like, yeah, they had the fur on their hooves, and their hooves, you know, hooves are bigger than my face, and my son's up there like walking around them, brushing them, petting them, and it's just to be out there. It's one of those experiences that unless you're in that kind of a location and the kind of places where they have those opportunities, you just don't get that. You don't get that opportunity. You go to a horse stable around your house. You might get a ride on a horse and stuff, and maybe a little bit of a wooded area, but we were on the Snake River and cruising on this covered wagon on the Snake River, and finding animal bones and playing in a little in a little stream on the side of it and stuff, and eating food on these horses and stuff. It was a magical place, and there's so many things to do while you're there. There's not just these activities, but so that was just the things that we chose to do in those couple of days.
Is that the 30-minute commercial or the 30-second commercial, Zach?
Okay, my 30-second commercial. I know I read that. I should have given it. Sorry, Jason. We rambled on. 30 seconds, 5 minutes. It felt like it's a place where you travel back in time to a place where being with your kids and family and connecting over fires and living a life of connection and support is the focus, and that you do things as a family and as a group to have experiences that are meaningful, and it's a face-to-face adventure that we wish at a time that we wish we could grow up in. That was not a very good 30 minutes. You know what, Jason? I'm gonna work on my 30-second commercial. I'm gonna make one up because it is. I just don't know what to say about it. But
Okay,
it's something
if
like that.
Jeff could do a 30-second commercial for the Back to Basics camp,
Elevator speech, Jeff. Go for it. You know what elevator
what
is?
is it in a nutshell, Jeff?
Well, Back to Basics is connecting generations and cultures by teaching traditional skills in the hopes of building better relationship. That's really what we do in a nutshell. And our long-term vision is to build these camps across the United States so that we can use recycled materials to build these places, and we can teach our children skills that they're going to be able to survive. We're really just hoping to build community.
Yes, sir.
See, that was perfect.
It was. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. We're gonna record that. We're gonna save that and put that on a video for you to put on your website because you need that. And Jason, the main camp and the camp that we're gonna be doing the Kids Deserve Dads Back to Basics adventure in is gonna be in Daniel, Wyoming. So it's just outside of Jackson Hole, like 40 minutes between Jackson Hole and Pinedale, almost like dead center between those two. And it's nestled right between the Wind River Range and the Wyoming Range, and you don't get a prettier, more amazing spot. And there's going to be a list of activities and stuff. I think Jeff kind of started off talking about how we're going to walk in, and he has ceremonies around walking into the camp, and how then we break bread together. And it's really about building that community, building that connection, and being a team of support to help each other grow and navigate this world. And I want to do it, and I want to do it with a group of guys who are part of this movement, who are part of trying to raise their kids and going through a family core experience. I feel like those are my people, and so I'm looking forward to doing this with Jeff, and because he's trying to grow it and make it bigger and do, like you said, have these communities around the whole entire country. The goal is to get out there, right by Yellowstone. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah. Yellowstone's probably like a 4-hour drive away, but it's like next door. So in Wyoming, that's like about a 15-minute drive. So
It's really only about 2 hours to Yellowstone.
yep.
You
Oh, really?
go through Grand Teton National Park. It's another 25 miles.
There you go.
I know, but 25 miles in the summertime. You're talking about there's going to be an elk and people are going to stop, or a buffalo, and the bison's going to make everybody go 0 miles an hour. So,
well, that's true.
everybody's be stopping like, what's going on here on the side of the road? But Jeff, what else would you like people to know about this camp, and where can they get information about this camp?
They could look up our website. It's backtobasics.camp. It pretty much spells out what we're trying to do, and of course, anyone can call me at any time and learn more. Our number's on there. Our address is on there. I'm open all the time for questions or signing people up.
Yeah. And you can't set up online, just not
There
that
we go.
technical yet.
We
But
got
you know
it
what?
across the bottom. It's on the ticker.
Jason, you can go on there and see it. And you can go on there and see a lot of the information stuff. Don't be alarmed. I'm a board member of the nonprofit. It means that much to me. And Jeff
Don't be
blessed me
alarmed.
by asking me. Don't be alarmed. But Jeff blessed me by asking me to be part of it and support him in his mission and stuff. And I care so much about this mission that I'm 100% into helping him be successful beyond his wildest dreams, because I think for my family it's going to mean so much, and for all the families that are out there that he gets to touch, I know the power and the energy you're going to get from coming from this place is going to change your guys' lives, this connection. So and you can go on there from the website. Jeff's number's on there. That's the best way to get a hold of him from that. So probably just full disclosure, right? That I'm a I'm a
I
board
copied
member.
in the what
So
we do part of the page, but that'll take you to the website.
yes,
Sorry.
and you can get there from that. It's okay. And so
That works.
and it's not set up for online reservations and things.
Registration.
Yeah, Jeff is a paper and pencil kind of guy. So
Perfect.
he will write it down. He'll take it all. Probably have to send him a check with snail mail because that's the only way he does things. Do not Venmo Jeff money.
There's
but
nothing wrong with that.
No, everything right is about that. It's slower, it's more focused, more abundant, and that's the stuff you're going to get
Just more
from being in this
personable.
camp. Yeah. He's just a real genuinely caring, loving man who wants to help families build connection and be united together. And he's put together a great spot. And so for me, it really makes a difference to come out there and do this stuff. And like I said, he's not trying to get rich off of this. He wants to have people come out there and do it and be part of it. And we put together a plan and stuff about what's going. And so it's get a hold of Jeff. He's going to set it up, but we're going to have dates on there that we're going to have the kids or dads when I'll have some technical stuff on my website and on our Facebook page. So, because I'm more into that than he is. But you know what, Jason? If you could see him, he kind of looks similar to, so his picture looks like Sam Elliott more, but now he's got the full mountain man beard, and he's you still got the full mountain man beard, right?
Jeff, he said you sound like Sam Elliott. That's what he said.
He's been accused of worse things.
You're like, well, thank you.
I have been accused of worse things. It's been a joy. It's just brought me a lot of joy and happiness serving people.
Yeah. Say mijo, he says.
What's that?
He
I,
said,
I
"Say
guess it must be a
mijo."
say mijo.
You, Jeff. You say
He's
mijo.
just messing. Yes,
He's
he wants
messing
to see
around.
how Sam Elliott you sound.
He's not gonna do
uh,
it.
Just
you
if you
He's
could
guys
not
see
are
his
too
playing.
face, he'd
much.
be blushing. You can't see. He's got red hair. You couldn't even. He's bright freaking red right now on the side of the road. So, Jeff's on his way. He's working with his cousin Pete, and Pete's bought into this thing. So it's a family project that he's got going in Wyoming and in Tennessee. And the Tennessee one, are you going to have Tennessee up and running this summer, or is Tennessee going to be a thing that you're going to start like next summer, probably, right?
We got some plans to get some things going here in September.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
We got about a quarter acre of vegetables planted out there, and we're hoping to have a good harvest July and August, and we're really hoping to have some groups out sometime in September.
Yeah.
Pete
Yeah.
Pete's going to be kind of in charge of this camp down here. He's coming out to Wyoming to give us a hand here for the next couple of weeks. And, I just wanted to share one other thing. We have our 35th annual father-son fishing trip that a friend of mine and I started 35 years ago with our older sons. And I haven't been on this trip in about 10 years, but it's next weekend, and I'm hoping to stop in and see those guys maybe on Friday. But we have about 50 guys that go now, and
Mm.
it's just been a really, really, really good thing. So I encourage other fathers to start those types of things with their children. I think they're really
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Wasn't there
Lisa.
a sorry, Zach. Wasn't there
Okay.
a fundraiser? Or wasn't there? The community barn dance?
There
Jeff?
was. I don't think that was recently though.
Oh, that
I don't
was
know when it
We've
was.
okay.
done some
Sorry.
barn dances.
The
We've done
flyer I
some
saw,
family.
it's old. It's from April. I thought it was upcoming.
No, that was a few years ago. But
Oh, okay.
we have done some family dances. We've done some daddy-daughter dances, and they've been pretty successful. They started out as fundraisers, and we didn't really raise a whole lot of money, but we saw the value in the community, and
Right.
so we put several of those on. We've just kind of backed off from that for the time being, and but I think all those things are important for a community.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Todd says Tennessee is future retirement.
Yeah. Having those things, it's so important for a community to have those places to come to and stuff. Like, I think got too much horn here, but I'm putting on not this next Thursday, but the following Thursday, May 23rd. We're doing a dad and kid bike to school day, and my intention is it's every school in Rapid City area schools is hosting a dad's bike with your kids a school day, and so getting dads together, getting dads out there, being involved with kids. Kids love riding bikes, especially young kids, and getting a chance to go out there and get this going is so important. So, where's the S, Zach? I don't know. So, so we have that event coming up, and we're doing the back to school day on this date, and we're going to have it in the spring and in the fall, and do this every single year because it's so powerful. And my intention is to have this be something that goes national. That every year, oh,
Oh,
every year, I love it. Every year
okay.
that this is something that grows beyond just here in Rapid City, that this grows bigger and bigger, and that it becomes a national thing. That we celebrate being a dad and celebrate that connection time and riding bikes and building that relationship. And that's something that you can go into summertime with and build some new skills. And it gives you something to look forward to. And then at the end of this summer, you break in the school year with another bike to ride, day. And you have that chance. And it's a chance to talk. My son and I ride our bikes in the morning time, and we talk about life and about school and what he's going to do and how to ride bikes across streets, and how to cross streets properly. And it's just always important things that we get to talk about. And the randomness that comes out of a 7-year-old is gold. If I could have a camera out there, I would. And these are the kind of things that build these relationships, having these camps and stuff, having this place to keep coming back to, and building this community of people out here being connected, uniting with our kids and building a better world. You just can't get a better group. And so I'm blessed to have Jeff as a friend. We got introduced by a mutual friend named Jeff. What a blessing to have him connect us. You're one of my best friends, Jeff, in the whole entire world. You know that. So wouldn't change that
Well, I
for the world.
appreciate all your
So
support.
yeah, I when I met you and we first talked about it, it sounded like a cool thing. And then when I came and did it, I knew it was magical. And I've been right here with you. Like, how do we make this be a thing to touch these families and keep growing, and to be able to be in this experience with you and stuff. I just really am honored to have you as a friend, and honored that you would allow me the opportunity to be part of this vision and to support you in it. And you're an inspiration and a visionary, and somebody that I see doing amazing things that are going to change the world. And I just am excited to be in the experience of being witness to all the things you're going to build and do.
Well, it takes all of us. It takes a community. So that's what we're trying to build.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate all the
I
help,
love it.
all the support.
It needs to be a bigger thing. We're all going to help Jeff make it a bigger thing.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Bigger, so I'm excited about it. Jeff, you got any parting words? Any words of wisdom? Anything you want to talk about? Anything on your mind? How about the NBA Finals? What do you think about that?
I just encourage everyone to get back to basics, and back to the things that really matter in life, and really that's surviving through good relationships. So we just encourage that.
Well, perfect. We absolutely appreciate you being on.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, man. I
appreciate
can't wait. I'll see you in a couple
Hopefully
days. Right?
the camps could get just bigger, because there are so many people that I even know just personally that would benefit so much.
Yeah.
Well, have them get in contact with us. I appreciate that.
Will do. Definitely.
Yes, this will not flop like the NBA. So no LeBron James on this one. I mean, if LeBron James wants to support us with his cash money and come out, he can come. But don't flop on us. So we'll take all the cash though. Thanks, Jeff, man. Love you, man. I'll see you on Thursday. So have a great night.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work, guys.
Awesome, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Jeff's just an all around cool dude. So I wish you had said Miho though, because I do want to hear him. You know what, Jason? I'm gonna freaking give him a say it when he's here, and I'm gonna record that and I'll share it with you. So with his mountain band beard on and stuff.
That'll be
fun.
the only thing I was gonna say is I think it's so awesome to have that opportunity for people to be able to go do that. Especially dads and their sons or daughters, like, so important. But at the same time, I'm like, who doesn't do that with their kids? You know what I mean? It's just because I live in Wyoming. I grew up in Wyoming. It's what what else were we supposed to do in the summertime? I mean, we never vacationed anywhere, really, at all, ever.
Just
when I was
to
growing up.
Casper Mountain. That was your place.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, places around the state, but that's what we did is we camped and hiked and hung out in the wilderness or by water or by a river or fished or hunted or whatever. That's kind of how
Yeah.
I think most people kind of around here grow up. But man, if people need to get out and do that with their kids.
Well, I mean, we live in a crazy world, right? I mean, there's all this stuff going on and everything, and people are
Yeah,
like making like bug out bags and all these kind of things and stuff. And these are the kind of skills that are timeless, right? Doing some woodworking, like how to make a fire without having lighter fluid, you know?
exactly. Yeah, it's
That's
important.
a skill that you could
Those
use
are the kinds
for
of things that
forever
they're gonna save your life. They're gonna
and save your
save
life.
your life
Yeah.
or somebody else's life.
And it may never have to come to that, and you hope that your kids or you never have to have that. But if that comes up, like you want to have the skills to go out there and do those things. You want to know how to get a
Yeah,
fish and gut a fish and do that. And if you didn't learn it, it's okay, And the nice thing is that there's YouTube, which is great, but to be out there and do it and be present with somebody who knows how to do it with a group of guys and their families who are out there doing the same stuff and learning the same skills and
yeah,
practicing and being present and growing together,
yeah.
it's an epic opportunity and something that
The community
that
part's a big
I
deal.
it's a community. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
I said, the guys that were out there with me and stuff, they're my friends, and we spent 3 days together. Like I haven't seen them since in person, but I've still talked to them probably a couple dozen times in the last couple of years because hey man, what are you up to? Just out of the blue, and they call me out of the blue just to talk, and and I think if I needed him, I could call him and they would answer the phone. And that I
right.
think that's what this is about is getting those people in place who that when you need somebody, they're going to answer because they value you and they appreciate you and that you have a shared experience of something that is pretty epic and pretty incredible. And so, like, I mean, our plan, up here in the Black Hills, I'm gonna have my camper up in the woods right by the lake, and we're gonna be. It's only 20-minute drive from my house. I don't
Yeah,
even know that I'll be even staying in my house this summer. Like, yeah, I probably will live in my camper
there you go. Why even go
for
home?
four or five of 7 nights, of the week.
A week.
I'll probably
Yeah,
spend 4 or 5 nights of the week up in a camper because I'll have a campfire, I'll hang out, I can do the things I need to do, and I can get to town in 20 minutes and do what I need to do and stuff. But not everybody has those opportunities, and
yeah.
I'm blessed to live in this area. Alicia, you're blessed because
And
I
that's
love.
that's what I was gonna say is I feel absolutely blessed that I grew up that way, and there's people that
Yeah,
haven't, and so that's why the
right.
camp is so
It feels
valuable
so
because if yeah,
it, it feels so foreign because you're like I do it all the time. Like I've lived in the mountains. I've
yeah,
stayed a week at a time up there and hung out and you know, and uh, uh, it's a pretty awesome experience to have that chance to come back and forth and do those things and stuff. And yeah, Jason, it is a hotel in the woods. I have tents and
yeah.
I
It's
do
we
the
call
tent
that
camping.
glamping, Jason.
I'm a
I
glamper.
call it glamping.
Um, I
Just
am.
joking. I have a pop up now.
To be fair, Elijah and I are going to go hike to the top of Cloud Peak, and we're going to backpack in and stuff. So we do have the skills. We do all those things also, and having the camper up there, uh, it's just so convenient. So there's something nice about doing it and having it, and just having it all up there with all your toys and stuff locked up in the middle of the woods. So
Not
uh,
sleeping on the ground is nice too.
I have a really nice bed in there, a really nice queen size
Just
bed. So it's
age wise,
better than my
I would say that
blow up.
that's I tent camp my whole life. Or like not even a tent, just you could sleep in bag on the ground as long as you're gonna stay dry. But I have a pop up camper now because sleeping on the ground is not always fun.
Yeah,
The kids can sleep on
I'm
the
willing.
ground though in a tent.
Yeah, right. I'm willing to go back and do it, and I like doing it, and I'll still do it for while we go backpacking. But backpacking is when I tent camp, and
Yeah,
everything else is get Sam Elliott back on.
excuses.
Uh, I know, yeah. We tried to get him for
Well,
like
we'll have
20
to have him
minutes.
back on to talk about how the camp went.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video and stuff of all the stuff we did at the camp when I was there and stuff. I got some pictures of my son like hanging out, doing his muscles in front of waterfalls, and I actually have a video of him falling. So that's an epic video that I'll share and stuff. Blooper film.
Blooper.
Him eating shit was great, but and but I think it's just pretty. I just you can't put words to it. I can't. And when Jeff described it, it was so eloquent the way he put it. Obviously, because he's thought about it for a long time about how this this works, but that it's really is about building that connection and stuff. And I mean, we built fires, we chopped wood, we banged on drums, we cooked over the fire pit. We had he's got you don't use any headlamps and that kind of stuff because we don't have electricity to do things with. So you
Mm.
have oil lamps, and so we work on like how to put together an oil lamp, and like we use an
Wow.
oil lamp, and
Nice.
you walk from building to building because it's dark. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever been in the woods, uh, it's dark and
Yeah.
it's in the middle of nowhere, so there's no like street lights or anything like that. If you get around the edge of the smokehouse, it's pitch black out there, and you're walking to this other building with coyotes and elk and deer and stuff being around, antelope, and you can't see where you're going, and there's sagebrush everywhere and stuff, and you have to have a light to get there and stuff. And it's a magical place. So I can't wait to get out there. Like I said, we're gonna have no, Jason, my posh camper is in the Black Hills, okay? Because that's how it goes with the Black Hills. Okay, this
Gosh,
is
camper.
this is
You
tourist
can't
central.
take a
All
camper.
right.
There's probably no campers allowed at Back to Basics camp.
I don't think he would let my camper come in there. So, but if it
No
did,
way.
I'd have Toby Keith's greatest hits blaring on my CD player. So, and he would know what's up. But there's none of that. Yeah, it's all instruments and stuff, and the only electricity, he has a little bit of electricity in the kitchen in the house. If we have to do something inside of there, and in the bathroom, so I think he can shave his face, which I don't even know why he has it because he hasn't shaved his face in like a decade. And then there are some outlets and stuff inside the woodworking area. So
Right.
because I think woodworking and doing things by hand is possible,
That's
and
different. But
it's way easier
yeah.
to plane some wood with a metal saw. So he has got
Yeah.
that out there and stuff. And yeah, uh, nice work, Todd. Todd knows. Todd's got the CD memorized. Number 10, Red
Red
Solo
Solo
Cup,
Cup
my
on
favorite.
10.
um, and yeah, and so this weekend though, Kids of Dads is doing a cornhole tournament, and so Alicia, I think we're gonna try to do something like that
Thanks for
in
the
Wyoming here
invite,
soon.
man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm
If you
kind of
got
a
nothing
cornhole
going on,
master.
are you? Well, we have
Yeah.
room for like 10 more teams. Probably we're gonna have 25 teams, I think, in this tournament. So,
Gosh.
um, yeah, next time. So, hey, you know what? Let's do a cornhole tournament for Kids of Dads in Casper. I can
Okay.
get Josh Kalinowski to come out there. He's a semi-famous dude in
Josh
Casper.
Kellano. Who is
So
that?
he owns like a real company. He played for the Rockies, professional baseball player. He's nobody. He's old now.
It's like a
He don't
car
know shit.
dealership or something?
No, the Colorado Rockies, like baseball team.
No, I know. Does he own a car dealership now?
No, he owns Caldwell Banker, real estate company.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
let's do it.
yeah. So we'll work on it. So is franchising or I think that his intention is to uh, it's a nonprofit, so I don't think he wants to necessarily franchise it out, but that he wants to have affiliate nonprofit buildings. So his intention is to have them at least one in every state around the country where this is being taught and being done. And so he's grown some of them. That part of why we're doing it on the program and stuff today is, I want to have these group of guys that are coming there, and I want to make it a place where guys, especially going through these movements, need a place and need to feel connected with other men who are going through these experiences. And we want to have this time to be with our kids and do these amazing experiences. And this is a place where you can go and do that and have support where you're not trying to make it all up on yourself and do it all up by yourself. Um, and so that's what he's really all about is getting that stuff set up. And so he is going to franchise it. I think there is going to be another one here in the Black Hills here pretty soon, and that would be a good one. 'Cause the Black Hills are so touristy, right? So people come here all the time. So and last thing, Alicia, before we go, Father's Day. If you're on here, if you're listening to this, We're going to do the world record breaking water gun fight, Rapid City, South Dakota, Father's Day. 4,000 people and more
In South
going to be
Dakota.
showing up in Rapid City, South Dakota. We're going to be showing up here. What a place to come for Father's Day. I know we have another guy who's John, who's not on today. He hasn't made a comment yet, but that's going to be out here, and we got a lot of. But if you're going to come out for a Father's Day weekend, you're going to do an epic. The weather's amazing out here at that point in time of the year. It's maybe 80s, early 90s at most, but the hills are less, and you get up in the hills and you got Devil's Tower is an hour and a half away. You got Mount Rushmore 40 minutes away. You got Deadwood 40 minutes away. You got Harney Peak, which no one's ever heard of, but it's an epic place. And between Mount Rushmore and Harney Peak, Custer State Park, there are some of the coolest roads that I've ever driven on in my whole entire life. And so if you guys come out here, people come out here and join us in the world record-breaking Father's Day out here
Guinness
in
World
South Dakota.
Record water gun battle.
Pew, 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 pew. We need to get sound effects like they do in the Lego movie. That's what I want to have for when we talk about the gunfight. Pew 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 pew.
What?
It's kids making the sounds. So they make the sound like pew 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 pew. Yep.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Yeah. Just like that. So,
I'm done.
and we're gonna do this every year. So the record-breaking water gun fight is not going to be just this year and this year alone, but every year going forward, we are going to host a water gun fight, Central States Fairgrounds in Rapid City, South Dakota, with the intention that we break the record every single year. Right? Break a leg.
Jinxes aren't real.
Don't break a leg. I don't believe in jinxing. I'm going to freaking do it, and it's going to happen. So, but we're putting it together right now. I think we just got the water park on board to sponsor it, and so the intention is that I think how I got them on board is that going to put their name on every single gun that we have, and that I'm getting them to with a little coupon card, and they're going to give a free pass to Waikiki on the card. So everybody comes up there gets a free pass to Waikiki. That's my plan. That's not actually been approved yet, so don't quote me on that one. But I'm putting it out there because you know what? They want to sponsor it, and I want them to sponsor it, and that's what I'm asking for. So
Cool.
that's going to be the request that I do. And I think they're going to go for it. They really love the idea. But a water gun fight, we're really about making amazing experiences and support for dads. And so one of the things I think we're going to come up with here pretty soon, because there was a guy who ran a nonprofit who did a ton of events all the time, and he's just, when I got into it, he was just doing an event like every 2 months, epic events, Harlem Globetrotters, you name it. Jesse did all kinds of stuff, and he was full of awesome weather this time of year. Yeah, heck yeah. And you know what? It's gonna be great no matter what. Bring your jacket because it's on the edge of the mountains, so it could be cold, but it won't be. So it's gonna be 90.
It won't.
And last year was cold, so this year's gonna be hot. But Jesse West, I want to get him on the show. I think we're gonna get him on here pretty soon. Maybe here in 2 weeks if he's open to it. But he had done so many great events and really brought the community together, and that's something I think that we're putting together here with Kids or Dads. I was doing it in Cheyenne. The came up and messed a lot of things up. I moved to a new town, and now I'm bringing it back. So, but that's a guy who inspired me, and I got a lot of my vision from him about what he was doing, and just a super cool dude. We were in Orlando together same time, and we went to Sea Life Park together, or SeaWorld. Him and his daughter, and Elijah and I. So, it's just an epic dude. So, we're gonna bring him on the show again. But next week on the program we have Jeff Miller and Ryan Powell. So they're both going. Jeff Miller's got a brand new.
Who's Ryan Powell? Like what? Who is that?
Just some whiny little dude over there on
the unmarried father.
He is the unmarried father. Love Ryan, man. A cool guy, like
I love
super
him
cool
too.
guy.
He's our celebrity friend.
I think he did. I think he just finished up with his 473rd episode of The Unmarried Father, and so that just wrapped up yesterday or something. So I don't know. I don't think he did that many. I think
episode
it's like 31.
473. He's not going to come on now that you're making fun of him.
And Hey, Ryan, we'll do a little roast action. I just
If you're
watched
not
the Tom
familiar,
Brady
go
show.
to the Unmarried Father Facebook page and check out the series because you will be sucked right in.
It's crazy, and he tells a story, and he just goes through the whole entire thing. I'm making fun of him, but it's really
There's a lot of episodes,
amazing
but
to hear
they're
him.
worth it. They're
They're
only
worth it.
like
And I
a
think he's
couple
doing
minutes long.
this weekend. I think he's actually doing this weekend. He's going to be doing the whole thing from like Friday at 8 o'clock. Isn't it this weekend, or did he just do it this last weekend for Mother's
What
Day
are you
weekend?
talking about?
I think he's posting this weekend, and I might be wrong, that he's posting every single episode of his unmarried father story
Oh, all
that he
over again?
made, and he's going to do them back to back to back all in a row. Yeah,
Okay.
3,000 coming soon. I know,
Sequel
right? He's going to bring out
3000 per Jason.
coming. It's coming. So just hey, you know what? It works for Disney and everybody else. So why shouldn't Tough make 5,406 episodes? So I say go for it.
Everybody
So
loves them. Everybody loves them.
they're
They are
fantastic.
all
I miss you.
relatable in some way, shape, or form. I can say that.
Right.
Even as a woman,
Yeah.
they are relatable.
Yes. So watch that. But he's gonna be on next week talking about that, about the program and stuff, and what he's gone through and what he's got going on next. And we also have on, and we waited to have him on again because we wanted to have him on after he got done with the episodes. And so I want to say there's like 32 of them is what that actually is, not 4,706, but um, 32. And so and they're gonna be played back to back to back this weekend. And
That's
then
cool.
he's gonna be on there talking about it, and we'll have a good conversation. And then Jason Miller from Jeff Miller, Jeff Miller from Missouri, who was on about a couple months ago. He's working on some bills in Missouri, and there's some bills being passed, hopefully, to continue moving the shared parenting and father's rights stuff forward in Missouri. And he needs some support and some help. And so coming on the programs to help get the word out there a little bit more and get further support for this cause and give him a chance to say these things, record them, and then use them to help move this forward. And I think having those leaders that are around the country moving these bills forward to bring these changes is so powerful because everyone in the country think we can copy these bills. We can know the bills that are out there and know what we're going to take.
Yep.
And so then the intention after that is to get Jesse West on the week after that. And then I'm pretty stoked about the one we have on June 10th. So June 10th is like, no, there's 1 week in between that. We don't have anybody yet. So if you want to come on,
Yeah,
actually, I have
don't
somebody
schedule anything for June 10th.
But June 10th
gonna be
is Carnell Smith, the maternity coach. We talked for 2 hours today. That dude is really powerful, like really focused. He went to the Supreme Court and won in the Supreme Court to overturn the ruling against him about him finding out he wasn't the father. And Georgia's like, we just want your cash money, bro. So
right?
don't be a dad and don't show up, but we want your cash. And he took it all to the Supreme Court, and he won in the Supreme Court, and Georgia lost. And he's been out there supporting dads and helping dads go through this stuff. And he's got some crazy stories. Like some things we talked about today about the dads that have gone through this with paternity coaching and needing paternity coaches would blow your mind. And it's something that we need to do everywhere. And like groups like Now and stuff are completely against it. The family law lobby and stuff is completely against paternity testing for dads because paternity fraud is that big of a deal. Is that common that it happens, unfortunately, that they don't want to have it be exposed because they would lose revenue by having dads on the hook to pay these bills. And so if you're a dad out there and you're debating on, or if you're not sure if you're a dad and you're about to have a kid, or you just had a kid and you're not sure if it's yours,
get a paternity test.
Get a paternity test.
Don't
if you're
be
a dad, period.
Stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Sorry.
If you're married, get a paternity test. Everybody should get one. It should be mandatory, but it's not because the states don't want to make that. The states don't want to have dads knowing if they're a dad or not. Just assume you're the dad and shut up and pay the bills.
Yeah,
so,
I just honestly might as well. You know what I mean?
Just do it. You know, like Nike says.
Just do it. All right. We got to wrap this
Yes.
up. I got to get out
All
of here.
right. Get out of here. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thank you. Love you guys.
Getting out of here.
See ya.
Are you leaving too, or are you going to sit here and talk somewhere?
I'm hanging up. I have nothing else to say. So, good night.
Thanks everybody for watching. Goodbye.